Not all questions are meant to be asked, but the final ones that you must stay ignored. This is Answer Gear.
We've all been there, floating in a pool, staring at the sky, and suddenly thinking, wait, can you even cry underwater? It's one of those weird questions that seems simple until you actually try to answer it. If you start crying, do the tears actually leave your eyes? Do they just mix with the water instantly? And if no one can see your tears, does it even count as crying? It's a question that blends science, psychology, and a bit of existential dread. So let's break it down because someone has to. The short answer that won't stop you from trying it. Yes, you can cry underwater. Your tear glands still work, even when you're submerged. However, your tears will mix instantly with the surrounding water. You won't feel them rolling down your face. No one will be able to see you crying, so it's basically the least dramatic breakdown possible. So if you're looking for a cinematic, slow-motion sob session, you're better off sticking to land. But what about science? Do tears even work the same? Tears aren't just for emotional moments. They actually serve an important biological function. They keep your eyes moist, flush out irritants, and contain enzymes that help fight bacteria. But here's where things get interesting. Your eyes are already surrounded by water, which means they don't dry out like they do on land. Because of this, your tear glands might not produce as many tears underwater. If you're in the ocean, the salt water could actually make your eyes sting and trigger even more tears, but those would just mix right into the waves. If you're wearing goggles, your tears might pool inside them, giving you the bizarre experience of watching your own tears float around. So yes, crying underwater is possible, but it's not exactly the full tear-streaked experience you're used to. Can fish cry? Because now we have to know. If we can cry underwater, does that mean fish do too? The answer is no, not really. While fish do produce mucus to protect their eyes, they don't have the same emotional tear production that humans do. Why? Fish don't experience emotions in the same way humans do. They react to stimuli, but they don't cry from sadness, joy, or heartbreak. Their eyes are constantly surrounded by water, so they don't need extra moisture from tears. Even if a fish could cry, would it even make a difference? Their tears would just mix into the ocean, becoming part of the water around them. So no, fish aren't sobbing over their lost fishy loved ones. But if they could cry, they'd probably be judging us for doing it in their territory. What if you cry in space? Because why stop at water? Okay, let's take this to the extreme. What happens if you cry in zero gravity? Unlike crying underwater, where your tears at least have somewhere to go, space presents an entirely different problem. Without gravity, tears don't fall. Instead, they just float around and stick to your face. NASA astronauts have reported that crying in space is actually pretty annoying because the tears don't go away like they do on Earth. Instead, they build up in your eyes until you have to wipe them away. So instead of a normal crying session, you end up with floating blobs of sadness drifting around you. In short, crying in space is an even weirder experience than crying underwater. And good luck trying to run away from your emotions up there. Your tears are literally following you. Final thoughts before you try crying in your bathtub. So can you cry underwater? Yes. Will it be satisfying? Not really. Your tears will disappear instantly, and no one, including you, will even be able to tell. And no, fish aren't crying with you. They have no idea what you're doing. If you're going to have an emotional moment, maybe stick to dry land where at least gravity lets you feel it properly. Oh, and if you found this interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll tell your goldfish you've been crying in its home.